Hello, this is Michael McNally, and this is A Minute with Michael. Today we're examining Julie Kirgis's Knife Ball. I believe it's an untitled piece, maybe the title is Knife Ball, but as you can see, it's a three-dimensional piece hanging just about a foot from the ceiling with chicken wire and many knives that I know were purchased secondhand and a couple other tools. This seems to be a skewer of some sort, and I'm not sure what you'd use this for, maybe a garden tool. But the whole appearance is topped off with this two shades of light red and burgundy ribbon that go through the entire thing. And the whole effect of it is very tight. It feels like a fruit almost, the way it rests. And I think that's in part because of the relationship to the stem and the fruiting body in this case. But also it has a cactus aesthetic in the fact that there are these enormous spikes. Despite being man-made, they do have an organic randomness to them. Furthermore, the piece is extremely scary. It seems like it reads as something that could come out of a horror film. That it could be a torture device, or that it's something you don't want to have to catch, first and foremost. It's something you couldn't hold in your hands comfortably. Something you couldn't even really grab without really carefully making sure you're not hitting a blade. So I think there's a kind of unattainableness to this piece. And there's an aesthetic that this is, along with the height, which is just below head level, or just above head level, that this is for people, but at the same time you can't, it's not interactive. It's to look at and it's to be sensing. And the contrast of the colors is extremely stark. They're strong silvers and reflective tones with the chicken wire that clash with the reflective polyester of the reds and burgundies. They both pop really significantly. You can't stop seeing the silver, you can't stop seeing the red. And the red is extremely emotional. It has a connotation with blood, it has a connotation with being organic. And the kind of drapedness but still containedness of the ribbon also suggests a sort of a release of blood, or a sapping, which also relates, I think, to the organic and the fruiting aesthetic. The knives are all really long. There are very few paring knives, and the smaller stakes are closer to the top, whereas most of the really big blades are hanging off in a way that the blade itself is just there. And none of the handles are grabbable whatsoever. So it returns to the idea that this is not for interaction whatsoever. Even these points that aren't sharp, I think this might have been a kitchen tool, or it might have been a gardening tool. It really reads with the rest as it's a skewer. You know, even if it wasn't a skewer before, it's skewering and it's stabbing. Right now, it's a stabbing tool. The use of black in the handles is pretty uniform, but occasionally we see wood touches. To me, the piece has a frightening quality. It seems like it itself is angry. It seems like it's seething. It seems like it's just at the end of its rope. It's very tightly wound, and I think that also has to do with the height that it rests from the ceiling, but that it also desires to crash. And that the way the knives are all so clean and ready to interact with anything that they could puncture, it feels like it, even though you don't want to catch it, it wants to be thrown. And I think this piece, it has a lot of relevance in the greater gambit of Julie Kirgis's works, in that it has a very visceral tone of hurt, and you can see how people are involved, though it's entirely objects. Minute's over.